Today we're going to be talking about why people don't follow through, what actually gets in the way, why execution is becoming the most valuable skill in the world, and later we'll share the one mindset shift that has helped us follow through on things that most people don't even start. Welcome to Launchpad Las Vegas. I'm Bob Dunmeyer.
I'm Brianna Dunmeyer.
The first subject, everyone wants the result. Some people want to start a business. Some people want to learn a language. Some people want to take that trip that they've been dreaming about. Some people want to write a book. But what they're not prepared for is the repetition and the consistent effort and what it takes to actually accomplish those things. So what is it that gets in the way for people to take that on? Like, people don't appreciate how challenging this is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we should talk about that. Let's make this episode about us and the struggles that we're having. Because
No, we're not going to make the episode
it's-
about us.
I think it's important because we're going through it right now. We want this YouTube channel to be a success. We want the result. But the minutia of setting the cameras up,
Minutia.
making sure the microphones are picking up the audio correctly, deciding on the topics that we want to talk about, sitting on this couch and shooting this is the work. It's the repetition. You hearing that I wanted to shoot today, you weren't excited about that, were you?
I was shocked.
But for us to actually be successful, we have to keep doing this. We have to be consistent. I'm not saying this is boring because it's definitely not that, but it does become repetitive.
Mm-hmm.
And picking the topic that we think viewers want to hear about is the challenge. But in order for us to actually get the result, we have to suffer through these early episodes where maybe we're not clicking for the viewers, but we have to keep putting in the work. And so that's really the topic, is the follow through. We're willing to follow through. We're willing to show up here. We're committed to this. We made a commitment to ourselves. And so that's, I think, the topic is why is that difficult for other people? And we're going to help them out with that. Because I think part of the mindset shift we're going to get to is why we're willing to do this. The planning trap is the next subject. And I shared previously that when I wanted to start this, that I was willing to put a lot of time into testing the video shots and all of the things that made me feel productive about that. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It made me feel productive. We talked about it in previous episodes as well. Like, you can put a workout plan together every day. It's the actual effort that is required, the actions you have to take, and people hesitate to do that. They'd rather just get stuck in what we call the planning trap.
Planning feels productive no matter what you're trying to start. Whether you're doing endless research on a business that you want to build, consuming content like podcasts or YouTube videos, or just waiting for the right time.
Hell yeah, but the problem is, and the reason we call it the planning trap, is because, to me at least, there's a fine line between planning and procrastination.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you are, like you said about waiting for the perfect time to start, that's really procrastination. The perfect time to start almost always is right now. The actions that you can take right now get you out of that planning trap. And I'm not joking. I say you own now, and we're going to talk about that more in the future. I know I say that a lot on here. I'll try to do that less, but I do say you own now. Like, you own this moment right now to take the action and get yourself out of that planning trap. Because truthfully, most of the time it's procrastination.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you need to plan. I'm not saying don't plan, but realistically, we all know that most of that is just procrastination. Like, we talk about contact reality. Getting out of that planning trap is you contacting reality with your idea, telling someone you know about the book, the outline of the book, or just writing. Like, that gets you out of the planning trap.
I think you'll learn more from the actions that you take in like real life experiences than researching and planning.
Absolutely. The one line we wanted to make sure we gave you is planning allows you to feel like you're making progress, but without taking the action. And that's the trap. And smart people seem to be more vulnerable about this than everyone. Have you heard paralysis analysis or analysis paralysis? I forget the way they say it, but it's the same as the planning we were just talking about. But I'm very good at just analyzing the hell out of something and then just getting stuck in that and not contacting reality, not taking the actions that we want people to take. And again, waiting for the perfect time. And then you can overanalyze things. You can make excuses sound really good. That's the problem. We talked about that on the Why Smart People Drift episode.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same thing right here. Like the smart people that really can trick themselves into thinking they're still planning, they're very vulnerable to the planning trap and not taking the action.
But the truth is, there really is no right time.
It's now. There is no right time.
The
Actually,
hard, cold truth.
I think what you're saying is there is a right time, right? There has to be a right time.
Nope, there's never a right time.
So you just totally flipped the script on us and are recommending, if I'm tracking this, no action.
Yeah, don't take action because there's never going to be a good time.
So we talked about why smart people are more vulnerable to this. But what about in younger people? Are you seeing that in your generation? Are younger people getting stuck in the planning trap instead of taking action to accomplish the things that they want?
I think a lot of younger people do compare themselves, especially on social media. Like, even when we were starting this YouTube channel, or you did, and then you asked if I wanted to be on the videos, that was difficult to make myself do that and put myself out there. But yeah, I was worried about judgment for sure.
Yeah, I think honestly, so this is a bit of a different subject, but it's the vulnerability, like the vulnerability to contact reality. So I'll just repeat it. The contact reality is you shoot a video, you publish it on YouTube. The first time I did this, I shot it in my car on my phone, and that night I just uploaded it to YouTube, which I didn't even know what that meant. I didn't know how to do it. But when I did it, I got emotional. Like I got really emotional because I did it.
Mm-hmm.
And I had been talking about it and thinking about it and planning it for so long. Now, what helped me, and this isn't the mindset shift necessarily, but I put a date on the calendar. And we call this the Launchpad because we have a launch mentality. So the launch mentality means I'm doing it by this date. Like if you are working for SpaceX and you're launching rockets, there's a date on the calendar that you have to launch. There's no flexibility, and you must be prepared. If you are filming a show for television or a movie, there's a date that's going to launch, right? If you announced a book release date, the book has to be done. Just imagine that launch mentality and how it helps you so much. So I knew I wanted to do the 99-day challenge. I knew I wanted that 99-day challenge to end on my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And in order for me to start, I had to start 99 days before my birthday. So that morning came and I just shot the video and it just felt so good. And the next day I talked about that. The second video in that 99-day challenge is me expressing how emotional it was and how much better I felt because I contacted reality. I published the video. It's not the best quality at all. And it's not like these are great quality, but we're publishing. We're just taking the action. We're putting ourselves out there. We're vulnerable. And it's uncomfortable. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you're uncomfortable seeing yourself on video. Like but after a while you get comfortable. I promise that's the case
Yeah.
because I see myself now in these videos and I see how much older I am even in a year's time, and at first I was like, damn, like what? But now after doing 5 or 6 of these,
Yeah.
like you're just naturally going to get more and more comfortable, and then you're not going to think about it at all, and then just looking in the lens becomes like second nature. But the only way you get there is to start, and that's why the planning trap is so damn vicious, because it keeps you from just pressing record. It keeps you from coming up with that date. So the younger generation, I think it's the same. I don't think this is a generational thing, but I think it's naturally more uncomfortable for younger people to expose themselves like this.
Mm-hmm.
But there's plenty of them doing it. So I don't know. I'm not thinking it's a generational thing. That's my take, at least. But the myth of motivation is the next subject. And yes, on this program, we're going to be beating some of these subjects up because they're so important. The myth of motivation is massive, and not just going to the gym, which we've talked about enough already, but it's just with everything you want to accomplish in life, starting a business, writing a book, learning a language, traveling the way you want, learning how to sail. Like pick something that people want to accomplish, running a marathon. The myth of motivation is that you will find the motivation at some point to do it. And we know there's no way that motivation comes.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to do it. Like,
Yeah, the motivation definitely comes after the action. As a small example, when you have to clean your room or your house or something, when you're, I don't know, you're like laying in bed and you're like, oh, I don't want to do it. But then once you start cleaning, you get motivated to clean more and more.
do it.
At least that's what happens to me.
Yeah, and I haven't written a book, but I imagine that if you write a chapter of a book or two and it feels good, the motivation to write more grows. It's hard to say that motivation will be there, but it certainly will be there more after you start.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Just watching these videos back, and I do enjoy them. I am more motivated to shoot a Launchpad Las Vegas because I feel like the quality's good. Like in the beginning, we were kind of motivated. I knew it'd be good, but now that the episodes are being published, it feels like we're onto something. And so I'm motivated, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I said I want to shoot today, it's because I'm motivated, because I want to get another video done, because I think we're making sense, and I think we're providing value, and that is what YouTube's all about. I think we have a take that people will care about, and I think the way we riff, people care about. So I'm motivated. So
Let's
you're
riff.
100%. You're 100% correct. Action creates motivation far more than motivation creates action. That's the point we want to make. What follow through actually looks like.
Follow through looks repetitive. It's usually boring. It's like answering one more email, doing one more workout, or reading one more chapter. But taking these small steps each day helps you to achieve a bigger goal.
Can't agree more. It actually does look boring. And I know we beat the gym episode up pretty good the other day, but in order to actually make gains and achieve results there, you're doing the same things multiple times. And so the follow through part does get boring. I always tell people, if you want to actually get these results, be prepared to be bored,
Mm-hmm.
because you're doing the same thing. You're just doing it a little better or doing it a little longer, and you're doing it the next day. Like, that's the part that I think trips people up so much. Like, you encourage them, you do your best to encourage them. They take the action. What they fail to think about is the fact that they need to do it the next day. When we shared that we were prioritizing this a few years ago, your mom and I, one of our neighbors jokingly, I hope jokingly, said, "Are you guys done yet?" Like, when it comes to going to the gym and working out. Like, the expectation was that at some point it's over,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because we had done it for a few months. And so, aren't you done? And so that was the joke that we shared, that we would always say, "Oh yeah, we're fit, we're done, fit, we're done." It is boring. It is repetitive. Follow through does look like that.
Mm-hmm.
Any opinion on that?
And I think each time you do follow through for yourself, you're building confidence and self-respect over
Yeah,
time.
hell yeah. And you're keeping promises to yourself. I mean, I think a lot of people have a better result with that than I do. I've struggled with that. I've made promises to myself, and then I took a long time to execute. But for others, that is all they need. They make that promise and then they follow through.
Mm-hmm.
My dad had that. Like, he made a promise and he never missed running. This is not a joke. That man, who's passed now, but he ran every day for 40 years.
It's insane.
I mean,
Yeah.
did you track that? For 40 years, he ran every day. And when he couldn't run, his depression got significant.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he could not run. So then he walked, and then he did other activities the best he could. But once his time of ability to go out and do that, it really impacted him severely. It was a promise he kept to himself for 40 years. Incredibly impressive. I struggled with that. I promised myself a lot of times. So for me, it became an identity thing. I think it worked best for me. But anyway, it's a mindset shift, and that's what we're going to get to. It helps you follow through. It helps you take the action. But for everyone, it's a little different.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the mindset shift.
So what separates people who continue from people who quit?
I think it's different for everyone, but some people can make a promise to themselves and it works for them. I struggled with that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I made promises to myself a lot in my life, and it didn't necessarily work, right? It didn't necessarily make me take the action. I think a lot of people, when they're impacted by a major life event, that might do it. And I'm not encouraging people to deal with challenges like that. I mean, you don't want to wish that on anyone. But when my father passed, that was one of the moments.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it just really was a significant moment for me. And I reflected on his discipline, and we talked about that before. It helped me now take the action. But I think the biggest one overall, and I would say this is the mindset shift that helped us the most, and it's what we're going to be talking about with Operation GSD, is the identity. Like, the people who follow through have an identity to the activity that they're following through on. So if you want to run, you consider yourself a runner and you act and behave like a runner. What would a runner do? A runner would wake up and get out there and run. That's not someone who's planning on running. Like,
Mm-hmm.
they're a runner. If you're a movie writer, you're writing movies. If you're a business owner or an entrepreneur, you start the business. So your identity is tied to that activity. We're becoming creators because we're consistently doing this. And when I got to the end of that 99-day YouTube challenge, I considered myself a creator. So that is the mindset shift that worked for us. And it's critically important, I think, for you to be able to follow through, is to have that identity tied to that activity and then go for it on a daily basis. Just wake up with that thought process, with that identity, and go for it. I think that's the difference. And with this identity, you're not waking up saying, do I feel like doing that today? You just know that that's what you do
Mm-hmm.
because you're identified like that. Do we want to shoot a Launchpad video? Like, we shoot a Launchpad video because we have a Launchpad show. We don't question going to the gym. We're people that go to the gym. Like, not, am I going to go to the gym today? We're people that go to the gym. And that thought process really, really, really helps. It's just my mindset shift that did it for me, and I think it will work for you. The real competitive advantage is execution. AI has allowed information to be available for all of us at our fingertips. We used to say that you can Google everything, you can watch a YouTube video about everything, but now AI literally has allowed for any bit of information to become available to everyone. Information is not a scarce resource anymore. It's the execution that's the scarce resource. And that's why I said in the opening that it's the most valuable skill. It's becoming the most valuable skill because those that take action are separating themselves significantly from everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
They have the information. When I started this company and I decided to go for it, I told as many people who would listen, and I'll continue to say this. We're in an era right now where it's not what you can do, it's what you want to do. And that is a true statement. Of course, there are physical differences that keep me from playing basketball. So we don't have to split hairs on that, right? Like, I'm clearly not going to be an NBA player, but it's not what I can do any longer. It's what I want to do. Because with all the information that we have available and the support with AI, you can do anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's just what you want to do. What do you want to build? Build it. What do you want to start? Start it. The information is so readily available for all of us. It's just the action that's the differentiator. The future belongs to the people who can consistently turn their ideas into execution. That's what Operation GST is all about. Most people don't need another book or another podcast or another plan. They need to take the next step. And then most importantly, the one after that. Thanks for checking us out on this episode. Like we said before, if you watched us this far, we would love you to hit that like button. It helps this channel so much. We're not going to be the types of people that ask for that too often, but man, it really does help us. And I hope you did like the episode, and check out the rest of our stuff. We're going to keep doing this, hopefully twice a week. That's our goal. We're going to reinforce some of these ideas, but we'll share a little more about us, about our life in Vegas and what we're into, and just keep this concept going.